Welcome back to the debriefing. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Like, share. Like any sniper, Ukraine snipers get close. Well, as close as they can get. Like any sniper, Ukraine snipers typically aren't close quarters covert operators, and they can't or aren't likely to be using lasers either. That's for close-in combat, not distance shooting, and that's generally a job left to the hardcore spooks. So just how close are Ukraine snipers getting? Well, very close, it seems, given the circumstances and the terrain on which so many Russian flag officers on the front lines have been shot dead by Ukrainian snipers. The exact number of Russian commanders who have been killed by Ukraine's elite snipers, it's unclear. But that they have been killed by Ukraine's elite snipers, well, that's not at all in question. Ukraine's elite snipers, who really didn't exist as the esprit de corps that they are today until after Russia's violent occupation of Crimea and its military backing of the pro-Russian separatist forces there and in southeastern Ukraine's Donbas region, operate in tandem with Ukraine's intelligence services, who, in turn, receive valuable intelligence from the US and NATO, because both the US and NATO have Russian communications on the ground and in the air under virtual full-time, real-time surveillance by a swarm of intelligence collection assets. Also, as we first reported here at the debriefing in our March 27th and March 31st video reports, Ukraine's capture of Russian communications and command and control technologies has allowed the US and NATO to perform sensitive site exploitation on this tech and to crack Russian communications encryption, allowing for the near unfettered ability to listen in on Russian ground and air communications, a game-changing capability that clearly has assisted Ukraine in battling back Putin's butchers, especially on the ground. Now, insofar as Ukraine's snipers have been able to pick off so many of Russia's military commanders on the ground, which is a boneheaded place for them to begin with and just highlights the almost ragtag pedigree of Russia's armed forces today, they've been able to do so by being able to intercept their communications in real time and to have near continuous ground triangulation that allows sniper teams to get near their targets, then to get into place somewhere that provides a clear kill zone and an effective way to exfiltrate. A feat that almost certainly requires the assistance of Ukraine's very capable special forces, and maybe even help from US and NATO member nations' special forces, as they certainly are operating inside Ukraine, alongside Ukraine's special forces and intelligence units. Don't kid yourself otherwise. That ain't the way this works. We reported on this earlier. See links at the end of this video. Ukrainian soldiers began to receive specialized sniper training in 2014 by CIA paramilitary operations and specialized skills officers, with the agency's Special Activities Division, Special Operations Group, and Political Action Group's respective ground branch components. In addition, they also received secret training in anti-tank warfare, electronic and physical surveillance, and evasion, training that's recognizable today if you know what to look for. The US, Canada, and NATO member nations have also provided the essential rifles, scopes, and other gear necessary to field proper sniper assets. Before, they didn't have that, but after a decade of training and now hurried equipping, Ukraine's snipers are spot-on, real-world caliber. Retired U.S. Army General David Petraeus, who served as Director of Central Intelligence, recently acknowledged that Russians are losing generals on the battlefield at an alarming rate. He said it looks to him like these snipers have homed in on the general's cell phone conversations. Well, imagine that. It is worth pointing out that from Ukraine's secretive and closely guarded sniper ranks have emerged, one this past week, female snipers who have received somewhat notable public exposure. And there's a good reason for that. The one most people are most likely immediately cognizant of is the woman who this past week the Ukraine Ministry of Defense approved a public relations campaign around. Although her face was not real, putting her out there like it did was still a ballsy move given Russia's biometric recognition technologies, which will be the subject of a future video report. Known only as charcoal, which could be a reference to her possible involvement in Ukraine's coal industry, prior to the war perhaps, the Ukrainian armed forces heralded the late 30-ish, early 40-ish woman as a national hero after she rejoined the military following Russia's invasion. Shown in approved photographs with her face partially covered to conceal her identity, the Ukraine Ministry of Defense said the mystery sharpshooter originally joined the Ukrainian Marines in 2017 and served numerous tours in the southeast, primarily in combat against the Kremlin-backed separatists in the self-proclaimed People's Republics of Donetsk and Luhansk. Today, she serves with the 35th Naval Infantry Brigade, which includes a sniper company, reconnaissance company, electronic warfare company, signals company, anti-aircraft radar company, and a CBRN defense company. She was quoted as saying the Russians are not human beings. Even the fascists were not as vile as these orcs, a reference to the fictional, mindless, humanoid-like goblins in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings novels. We must defeat them. We must take them all out, she said, adding, I will stand till the last. Together we will win. Glory to Ukraine. But Charkol isn't Ukraine's only famous Marine female sniper. Before her is 42-year-old battle-hardened Olena Belozerska, who is credited with at least 10 confirmed kills while fighting pro-Russian separatists in the trenches of Donbas, who in late February vowed to return with her husband to the battleground if Putin invaded Ukraine. Today, she is a Ukrainian Marine Corps trainer who very well may have trained, if not fought alongside, Charkol. You take up a weapon against my country, that's it, you're a target, Belozerska said in late February prior to the invasion. She became famous after this video surfaced of her in 2017. It was the night of Ukrainian Independence Day anniversary. In August 2017, she told the Daily Mail, these Cossacks must have assumed we were lying drunk in our trenches celebrating. When the enemy crawls toward our position to kill me, does he think if I have a husband, parents, or kids? She asked. Of course not, and I don't bother myself with stupid things either. That stuff is for books and movies. In real life, anyone who thinks along those lines in battle is already as good as dead. Last week, and following the introduction of Charkol to the world, the Russian Ministry of Defense issued the unusual statement that Belozerska had been killed in combat. But on April 1st, much to the Russian chagrin, she tweeted, along with a photo of her in uniform, that the propaganda of her death had been greatly exaggerated. From Kiev, Belozerska is something of a celebrity in Ukraine, having written the best-selling book, Diary of an Illegal Soldier, which is a reference to the fact that for the first few years of her service, she was a volunteer. But she was well known even before the war as an opposition journalist who was threatened with imprisonment by the pro-Putin old hardline regime of Viktor Yanukovych, who was deposed during the 2014 Maidan Revolution in Ukraine. It was Yanukovych's ousting that infuriated Putin and which has played a significant role in his unrelenting, seething contempt for Ukraine. Until next time, stay frosty, my friends.